Trojan family, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen. Listen, the signing day period is over. The early signing day period is over. December and February. Listen, USC now officially basically has their roster set. And here's the question. If this roster remains the way it is right now, I want us to take a look at this from a defensive perspective. We'll do the offense because after I do this, I'm going to still have to do a breakdown of the transfer portal players. But I was sitting down with a couple of guys as we communicate after the signing day was over. And we just looked at the pieces we had together. And I'm going to tell you guys this. Give me a chance. Let's look at this because I know some of you are lost to the sauce. And look, you guys are distraught right now over USC defense, but we're going to take a look at these defensive pieces that came. This is separate from the breakdown I'll do from each player and some video that I'm going to do of each player. I'm going to continue that. But if the roster remains right now, will USC have success? Will USC be able to make a run? Is the roster much more improved? From a defensive perspective, we're going to take a look at that. We're going to look at the depth. We're going to look at the pictures. Shout out to USC Priority on Instagram. Look, you guys make sure you go find him. This guy's a major recruiting guy. He keeps up with it. Look, last time I did these faces, he's the one that brought some of the faces we put together who I thought was going to be starters and who we thought. And then shout out to Corey as well. Corey is he doesn't do he's not a content creator or anything, but he just kind of communicates back and forth with us. I told him he needs to start his own little thing because he has a lot of information. But look, shout out to those two guys right there. Let's take a look at USC's defense and see if they improve themselves to make a championship run, a playoff run for next year. Listen, you guys know we're getting ready to face some big time offenses coming up this fall, and we need to know if we're ready for battle. Listen, nothing is concrete. Let me say that. Nothing is concrete. This is just a projection of who we think that can possibly start. We're going to take a look at it. Seeing is believing. Let's take a look at this. Let's go. So we're talking about the new projections now. USC has closed out their signing day periods, and we now have all signing days locked, secured, and delivered. No more defensive players as of now. Have came in. So we want to deal with this now. Now we do know that the transfer portal is going to be opening back up in May 15th, if I'm not mistaken. But if we can add any more, if this is what we had to deal with, we're going to deal with these several different lists here. I got 3 of them. And you got the football field here, and you see exactly who is on here. Now, this is Corey's list. Corey has, for safeties, he has Anthony Beavers. All of our lists are kind of somewhat different, but I kind of tend to agree with this last one that's coming up. But Corey's going to have Anthony Beavers as a starting safety. He's going to have Caleb Bullock as a safety. Then you see here, he's going to have Zion Branch. He got him in the middle right there, but that's actually going to be a nickel spot. For the cornerback, he's going to have Damani Jackson. Christian Roland Wallace is going to be the other cornerback. Then you see down here for the linebackers, he's going to have Tacky Curtis, which I absolutely love. Then he's going to have Mason Cobb. Then he's going to come down. He's going to have Jalil Muhammad right there at your rush in. And then you see here on down, the 3 guys that's going to be on the line for him is going to be Anthony Lucas. Last time I did this, we didn't have Anthony Lucas here. And yeah, it was no Anthony Lucas. So Anthony Lucas is going to be added to this. And then you got Keon Bars. He's going to be added to this as a projection. And then you're going to have Ramilo Height. That's the 3-3-5 look right there. That's how it'll look. Of course, Jalil Muhammad will be up front a little bit, but that's how the 3-3-5 is going to look. That's Corey's list. Let's take a look at some of these other lists. All right, this is USC priorities list, and I'll be honest, I hit him back last night after I gave him my first list, and I told him I can't leave Corey out, but I'll show you my first list. But I'm kind of back and forth with it. But this is the depth. But now I don't want anybody to get twisted on this. I'm gonna tell you exactly what's going on here. I know it's look like way more players than 11 players, but I'm gonna explain it to you. So the first one's gonna be Kalen Bullock. The second one, of course, at safety. The second one is going to be Zion Branch, the other safety. Now, at nickel, he has Jacoby Covington at the nickel. Now, you see right there in the back, that little small guy, it's basically Jacoby Covington or CL Wright when we're talking about the starting lineup. So it's going to be Jacoby Covington or CL Wright. Both of us were torn on that. We're torn on everything, really, because as we're doing this now, we're starting to see how much depth USC actually has. Only thing I think all of us have in common right now, Damani Jackson and Christian Roland Wallace, those two are the starting corners. I got that as well. We can move on from that. Everybody's torn with this one as well. When you talk about the linebacker position, he has Tacky Curtis or Eric Gentry. I'm very torn with that as well. Then he has Mason Cobb. Everybody, I think, for the most part, is pretty much locked, sealed, and delivered on Mason Cobb. Absolute monster. Start Mike linebacker. We can't forget about Sean Lee. Of course, we know situational situations, but I think this, with these new transfer portal guys coming in, I just think, maybe Sean Lee early on in the season was a little more explosive. However, I think as he got injured, things begin to change. However, we don't know what's going to happen in the spring. This is only a projection. Nothing is sealed. We're just talking about this. We just want to put some eyes on this. We want everybody to take a look at this and see exactly what's taking place. Now, Jaleel Muhammad or Romello Height as the rush in. I'm telling you, this is extremely hard right now when you're looking at this. So right now, if you were to put it out there, you'll put Jaleel Muhammad, Mason Cobb, and Eric Gentry. Tacky Curtis on the side right there, and Romello Height. Now, you come down, you're going to have for the three guys in the front. You're going to have Anthony Lucas. I think that's a consensus. It's go time with him. Anthony Lucas transferred from Texas A&M. Then you're going to have Kenyon Bars, transfer from Arizona. And then you're going to have Corey Foreman or Jack Sullivan when you're talking about the defensive end. I think Corey is a natural defensive end opposed to rush in, and I like him better at that spot. That's his natural spot coming out of high school at Centennial. Let's move on to this other list. All right, here is another list. It's I tell you, man, this is real Mickey and tricky right now. It is very hard to do this, but everybody, I think for the most part, it's a consensus. The five in the back. You got Kalen Bullock, Zion Branch, Jacoby Covington, and then once again you got Damani, and then you got Christian Roland Wallace. Now, once again, here it is, Eric Gentry / Tacky Curtis. We really don't know what to do with that, but this is a good thing because this is creating depth. This is going to create competition. It's a consensus. Everybody thinks Mason Cobb is the man. And then right here, Jaleel Muhammad as well. He's an absolute beast. I brought you guys him the other day from Georgia State. Him and Mason Cobb, those are the first two transfer portal guys that I did with the video. I'm going to continue that, but I just wanted to, now that the signing day is over, if nothing changes, I just wanted to put some eyes on this and see how this look. Then you got Anthony Lucas, and then you got Kenyon Bars, and then Jack Sullivan right here. So look, you guys hit me in the comment section. Let me know what you think. It's really going to be Jack Sullivan or Corey Foreman. I think this is difficult. We're not even including right now. It is we have quite a few defensive linemen, man. When you're talking about on the line that we haven't even named yet. That's still there. Of course, you guys know that Mobley just came back. We announced that. So the depth for USC now is a lot better than what we had last year. USC was really in a situation to where they were extremely hurt. They were vulnerable, and So look, we still got Solomon Berg. I don't want you guys to forget that. Solomon Berg. You got Devin Tompkins. I mean, we got a couple of guys that are still here on the defensive line. You got Rajon Davis. For cornerbacks, you still got Prophet Brown. You got who else let's see, am I missing? Who else am I missing? We still got a few players. I'm trying to think who we missing. I think that's pretty much it. You got Latrell McCutcheon. You got Bryson Shaw. Of course, we did name. You got Xavier Gordon. You still have him. So look, man. I mean, listen. USC has depth now. Look, you guys hit me in the comment section. This video is a little longer because we just wanted to look at the defense. Is USC's defense improved? Absolutely, it is. You guys are putting eyes on it. You guys get to see it. Like, share, subscribe. USCJ on Instagram. USCJ32 on Twitter. All right, as you guys see, that was that little exercise, if you will, was a pretty difficult thing to do. It really lets us know that not only did USC gain from the transfer portal in a big way. You're talking about Anthony Lucas. You're talking about Mason Cobb. You're talking about Jalil Muhammad. But not only did we improve in a huge way, this actually created a lot much more depth than what you really realize. And you really don't realize this until you start moving these pieces around, moving these heads. And then I say, man, Gentry, I want Gentry to be in there. Then you want Tackett Curtis to be in there. Then you want Mason Cobb to be in there. You start moving these pieces around. Then you start realizing, wow, USC actually has depth. But of course, the media and others won't give you that information. But we're here to give you the information. We're here to look at it on paper and see how is this going to translate. Listen, we talked about guys that came through the transfer portal, and we talked about a few guys that have already been here. We haven't even dealt with the true freshmen that have come in, like Braylon Shelby. We've only dealt with Tackett Curtis, but we haven't dealt with David Peavy, Malik Crawford. I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and they talked about how the cornerback Roger Pleasant committed to Oregon, and right now, let me say this: right now, cornerback. Of course, we could have used Roger Pleasant, and shout out to him. God bless you for your decision. We respect everything that you're doing. But if we look at I think it's given a lack of disrespect if we don't even look at some of the cornerbacks that we have now, like a Damani Jackson, like a Christian Roland Wallace. And you got some of these guys that came in, Fabian Ross that came from Bishop Gorman, he hasn't even, you still got, you got multiple guys there, man. Multiple guys there right now. They just have to be coached right. I will agree on that. They have to be coached right, and they have to be, have proper technique. And our hope should be that proper technique is given during the off season so that these guys can be trained up right, because these are some high caliber athletes that we got. And we haven't dealt with a lot of these guys. You got Dejan Lafitte. You got him at defensive tackle. You got some of these other guys. You got Mobley that came back for defensive tackle. So you got all these guys that we still have that are there. They just need to be developed, and I think Coach Newell was able to do it. I think we have the staff to be able to do it. And here's my hope. As I was talking with somebody about this yesterday, my hope is that they kind of switch it up a little bit with the 3-3-5. Not saying you have to do it all the way, but just kind of change it up a little bit to where you kind of can be a little bit flexible, to where you're able to maybe run a 4-3 different packages. You still got guys like Sean Lee. I think he's going to come in at different packages. And you can see here, just naming off these names, that it is some depth that has been created with the USC defense through the transfer portal and through the freshman class. And I think USC is going to be successful. Look, you guys hit me in the comment section. You guys know I don't like to be long-winded. But listen, you hit me in the comment section. You guys let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe. This is going to be USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. Listen, big up to the guys that we got yesterday. Walker Lyons and Jacoby Lane, two big-time guys, man. USC continues to move and groove. We're not worried about the offense. Everybody's worried about the defense. I think success will come with the defense this year, just like we seen early on last year. And let me just say this real quick. You guys need to remember this. Early on in the season, first 3 or 4 games, you guys remember we were holding teams to 19 points per game. And then after the Utah game, of course, during the Utah game, there were some guys, Gentry and Lee, that got hurt. And it just seemed like ever since then, we just started going backwards. These guys got hurt. Listen, I need you guys to keep that in mind. I believe this depth that we have, because we've seen the Oregon State game, we've seen the Arizona State game, we've seen adjustments made early on in the season, but for whatever reason, I think because of lack of depth and injuries, it was just like the tackling got worse, everything got worse. But I believe it's going to be emphasis placed on these particular issues, and you're going to see USC make championship run. Look, that's my perspective on it. You guys see me in the comment section. You tell me what you think. It's going to be USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. Until later, listen, stay focused, stay blessed. Make sure you get up, get out, and make some things happen. Fight on, fight on, fight on.